Guys, I decided to make this for educational purposes to show you whether you can actually make a card deck using a AI generated image. So here's the AI generated images that I basically had Copilot make, because if you use something for Copilot, you will be able to use it for commercial purposes. Now, the only drawback with if you make a deck generated by AI is that you won't own the rights to it unless that you make a booklet with it and you yourself write every single definition for the layout, archetypes, whatever you came up with for the deck, for each card's meaning. Basically, that is where the copyright that you will own lies in. Okay, and that would be more under a literary work. So, if you don't know this about me, I have a book that's fiction. I've written fiction. I also own approximately like 11 literary works with the Library of Congress. So, and that's just poetry and then a book. So 12. And then I also own approximately another 11 images with the Library of Congress, which are images that I have actually drawn myself using Krita. Krita is a digital drawing tool equivalent to Photoshop, but it is way better to use because on their website, it basically gives you rights to use it for commercial use, and they won't come after you to basically have to pay them a royalty like other types of drawing tools do. And when I say drawing tool, I mean you draw the damn thing and publish it, and it not like Copilot where it generates you something, or not like ChatGPT where it generates you something. And if you don't know this about ChatGPT, you cannot use anything from ChatGPT nor Meta for commercial purposes or anything of that nature. So keep that in mind when you are trying to use any of those types of images for something, okay? So here is this one. This one is the Keymaker image that I had it make me. Now, first of all, I want to go through the differences about how I would actually have drawn this image. And this was the only one that it made me the brightest. So as you can see down here, I'll change the image right now if I can. Down here, I'm selecting it, but it's not changing it, so whatever, it's fine. Okay, so the images that it made me were very dark, not like anything that I draw. Also, you notice that the resolution, even though I had it make me the highest resolution that it could make me, the resolution is not that high. Like if you go draw in Krita, you're gonna have layers and you're gonna be able to create dimension, and also not just that, but you're gonna be able to create more of like linear perspective and more like more detail. And here it just looks very flat to me. I don't know if you see what I see, but even though they tried to do kind of like linear perspective with the putting the door there and adding kind of like a path, it still doesn't work because you're not really having the ability to layer, and it just still looks really flat. So to me, this, like, I mean, you could technically use this, but it's not gonna be like something that I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go use it. I would almost rather for this deck do a collage of pictures and like go rent a very high resolution camera or something like that, and then go and like maybe take the back off of my calculator, because on the back of my calculator I can actually see what would look like something like this, uh, where you can see the inside of the calculator. And I would almost take that and then take a lot of pictures of a lot of different things, and maybe even take like maybe even a Lego figure or something like that, and take pictures of that in front of it, like create collages in that sense, because I feel like that's going to be more in tune with like the energy of what, I would want to portray in this. And because drawing this would take a very, very long time. Yes, I understand that, but at the end of the day, like, you also want to be efficient and want to be quick. Okay, so you could do it that way too if you wanted to. There's also other ways to do it, and it's something called a compilation. I think it is. Don't quote me on it right now because I'm going completely blank. But it's basically where you take like different. Yeah, I think it's called a compilation. I'll show you an example later. Okay, so here we have the image that it gave me, and I went into projects and I uploaded some of the images that Copilot made, and here's basically the result. I went through, I put all the meanings exactly like I would. Now again, looking at this card deck, this is completely different than what I would draw, because I draw with a lot of color and a lot of like, I don't know, just very different. I draw very different than this. So for me, this deck, yeah, it looks pretty good and everything, but at the same time, I feel like it's missing a lot of what I would consider heart, right? So yeah, it captured a lot of the meanings of like what I was trying to say when I went through and I put in like what this means and that means and this archetype that I wrote means and stuff like that. And it kind of did a little bit of some, you know, some, I don't know, artistic, creative thinking here, but still feel like everything is so dark and everything is just not me. And for that reason, like I said, like you could technically have this where it makes it for you, and I'm going to show you like here. So this is one, and basically I put in like how I would write the meanings for this card, everything. I did all of that. Okay, then go back. This is the back of the card. And I put Unimatrix archetypes. And I just went through and I did, all that for each one. So technically, you could do it this way, but just keep in mind that if you do it this way, okay, so it took me actually from start to finish, from like end of January to like maybe like 2 weeks ago. Well, it took me like a week or two to actually get all of this done, just because of the fact that Copilot did the actual like drawing to it. But again, like I said, I would not actually consider this to be like my technically like my artwork. This would almost be like if you hired somebody to do you a work for hire and then you went from there, which was something that Doreen Virtue did a lot. And so, but she did write all of the books for her decks, and she's like somebody that I really look up to because she was Christian, and also she didn't put the devil on her card decks, which was something that I forget what it's exactly called. It's called like the best for death or something. I can't exactly remember the word of what they call the devil card in the Arcana, but basically people put that in there because they've made deals with it, and so basically they'll be like, if you do this for me, I'll put you in this deck or whatever. And that's what people don't understand. You're basically using a deck that's a contract between the person who makes the deck and the person who, you know, basically, the devil. So for that reason, I remember Doreen Virtue used to say a lot like, don't use those cards. And uh, I believe it. I completely do believe it, that there's things that we don't know about. So for that reason, I like to make my own cards, and I like to, make sure that these are cards that don't have like the devil card in them. And not necessarily just the devil card in them, but like that one, that one. that I'm talking about. So here it is, and you can also go to like add to cart, and well, there it appears. And then I'm just gonna go to um delete this one because technically I already have it in there. So I'll delete that one, and I just go delete it. Don't need it. But here I am just showing you because I had already made one in here. So here you can see the ones that I drew, the Revive Angel. This one I drew in Krita, and I can see all the details down to the lines on my actual, down to the lines, everything. Um, this one too, the two people kissing, it's the optical illusion. I drew that too. Um, and actually, like my son had been jumping, he was jumping, and I was just like on the couch drawing this freehand, and he was jumping, and because he was jumping, I ended up doing the optical illusion, because when he jumped, I was able to see the two people kissing, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea, let's go with that, basically. So yeah. Now this one over here, the one that the co-pilot made, now those, as you can see, I cannot see on those. See what I'm telling you? I cannot see on those and too well because it's lower resolution. And I'll also do another video. I have to charge my old tablet. It's an Asus. If you ever want to have a tool that you can draw on, I think Asus is the product to use because I've used other tablets for drawing, and I am like, please bring back bring back that little Asus from like the 2000s because the interface feels so much better, but now it's like super slow. But I'll get it on and I'll pull it up and I'll show you guys how to set the presets so that you can see what I'm talking about. And again, here, in this situation, like I said, the resolution is going to be way better if you draw it yourself versus if the AI does it. Yeah, it'll save you time, but the resolution won't be as high. That's what you have to remember. And also, you're running into the situation and condition that now you're going to have to, go and write the whole saddle book. Okay, I don't know if you can see here, saddle sound 36 slides. So now you have to go not just put the images but also write all this stuff so that you can have rights to use this. So in the other case of the one that I drew here, Mix Angel, that is made using freehand in Krita with layers, everything drawn, by hand. That one, I don't have to make a saddle book because I own that image, because I drew it, because I made it. And as you can tell, like what a difference, right? Like you can see the style of my artwork versus the style of like something made in, AI. It's like I have a very certain precise type of way of drawing. It's very bright, it's very cartoon like because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a cartoonist. So that's where the whole like me knowing how to draw came from. I used to draw Sailor Moon. I used to draw, Dragon Ball Z. I used to draw anime. That's what I used to draw when I was growing up. And then as I got older, my drawing style started to change. And I'm glad it did because else I would have been very stuck drawing like, mimicking other artists' drawing, which they say you're not actually supposed to do that. The best thing you can do is draw like real life things you've seen. And so this here, the person here who's kissing this guy, that's actually me when I was much younger. And then this person here is somebody that I used to know. So yeah, very interesting. But like I said, you can go to edit, load it up in here. And then now it's given me a blank canvas because now it shows me all the cards. You go next. Okay. Then you would go upload each, and then here's where you edit each card and you set the actual font and you set how to add it. You can move each. See, you can move each like that. You can move each. So yeah, I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but basically that's start to finish. You can do a lot on your phone, but you cannot, listen to me, you cannot make the Saddlezone booklet within here. You will have to go to either Canva, Photoshop, Krita, other platforms. And Krita is not really the best place for make like text because it keeps moving it around. I've tried before to do like a lot of text. That's why the best thing you can do is you make the card image and then you upload it into here, and then from there you add the text through here, because also you got to make sure that that text is commercial use font that you can use in this case. Okay, so that's basically the situation here. And that's all I wanted to show you guys, is basically how much you would have to do in order for it to, for you to be able to use it. Whereas opposed to my other cards that don't have that many images, I just have basically 3 images for my other cards that I drew myself. Okay, yeah, it still took me time to draw them, but basically I just used 3 images. One for the front, one for the back, and one for the box. And then in the end, I ended up not even using a box because, as you can see, look at the price differences here. Okay, if you do a Saddlezone book because you ended up using AI, that's going to draw the price up. I don't know what's going on here. It's irritating me. Give me 1 second. Let me see here. Oh yeah, why did they put this here like that? Yeah, I don't want to put it too high for you, but okay. So basically, here's the situation. You see Mix Angel. I drew that by hand. Me drew it. My artwork, my art style, everything. Now, here's the problem that I'm going to show you. If you draw it with AI, $43.86, same size, almost. Actually, the ones down here, Mix Angel, the ones I made, that I drew, are actually less, what do you call it? No, the ones that I drew are bigger, actually. Never mind. They're bigger. They're bigger than the ones that are from the AI. Look at the measurements. Size, 2.72 by 4.75. That's going to be way bigger than the ones made from the AI, were 2.48 times 3.46. And that's 55 cards. This is 78 cards, and the price is still way lower. Why? Because I don't have to make a saddle book. Because this is my work. This is my actual hand-drawn image that I make digitally, and I have the layers, I have the meta files, I have all of that. And actually that is all submitted to the Library of Congress because that's my actual artwork. Okay? Now the one over here made with the AI, 2.48 by 3.46, smaller card, less cards, 55 cards. Okay? And on top of that, let me tell you what else. I was actually going for standard smooth here. I don't know why I changed it. I must have gotten confused. Anyway, whatever. Here's the thing. You're going to have to make the Saddlezone book to own the rights for this so you can sell it commercially. Now, the other problem you can tell is the price. For the one that's AI, it's 43.85. For the one that's not AI, it's 28.75. Bigger cards, more cards, all of that. No saddle book needed because I don't need that because I actually drew that one. Now the one that's AI, 43.85. Way more money, like almost double. Okay, more money. Okay, we'll just round. $30 for the ones that is not AI. 44 for the ones that is AI. Okay, and it's smaller and less cards. Okay. Um, yeah, that is way more. Here's the other thing. The ones that are the AI one, I think those ones I also make that they're gonna have packaging, custom double tin box. So I made it a tin box, and the tin box is gonna have a an image. So this is everything you would have to do to be able to sell this commercially so that you retain rights, right? Because on the front of that cover of that box, you're going to have to put that you used AI, okay? You would have to put like generated with Copilot or something like that, right? An attribution. I mean, you don't have to technically, but you should or you would, because depending on the distributor's actual actual rules. And here's the other situation. See down here. See down here. Okay, look at this one. Look at this one. I want you to look at this one. This is the ones I made, the ones that I drew by hand, me, not AI. Now these, I have sold the designs for these two to the distributor. Why? Because I own these images. I made them. They're mine. This one right here, you will most likely not be able to sell the design for this. This means that all of the distributing costs are going to be on you. It's going to be on you to ship it. It's going to be on you to get the boxes to ship it. It's going to be on you to print the labels to ship it. It's going to be on you to do returns. It's going to be on you to do everything. You're going to have to buy bulk for all of this and put it on like your website and then sell it from there. That's all on you. Whereas opposed to you being able to have the rights to sell this design and then they sell it, and then when it makes or caps at like certain amount of money that they say through their contract that you can cash out, then you be able to cash out, you'll be able to, you know, make the money from that, and you don't have the losses of the distribution, you know, cost and stuff like that. Whereas over here, even though it says sell this design, it's up to them whether they're gonna want you to, whether they're gonna want to buy this design, and most likely they're not gonna buy this design. Why? Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because that design is probably not gonna be able to be sold through their platform because they probably gonna have their own distribution standards, and not just their distribution standards, the uh, resolution is low. Even though you made it with AI, the resolution is low. So basically, yeah, you could still sell this for commercial purposes, but again, you're gonna have to go make the whole Saddle Zone, um, the whole Saddle Zone book. You're gonna have to order this deck, send that Saddle Zone book to the Library of Congress, pay the Library of Congress about $85. I don't know if it's gone up more because it just keeps like inflating. Okay, but you have to pay the $85 for that if possible, and you can get this whole file done through like Canva or whatever, then you might be able to just upload the whole thing for the Saddle Zone book through there, or you might be able to make an ebook of the Saddle Zone book and upload it into the Library of Congress. Or you might want to do all of those. Because here's the thing, if you decide that you're going to end up doing any of those in the future, you might want to do that now while you're at it now. You're also going to have to go to Boiker and get an ISBN for your Saddle Zone book. You're going to have to go to make a barcode. You could probably make one online. Once you have the ISBN, it's pretty easy to get the barcode made. Okay? I've done all that. I've done all that before for my other book. But let me tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot. So like, and you're bringing the price up way higher. Way higher. You're bringing the price up way higher. You know, and the demand is going to be lower. So what you got to remember, because now demand is lower because now you've set the price to a higher point. So now the people who are going to try to buy it are not going to buy it. Where's your consumer base? Where's your target market at that point? Even if people want it, right? We're living in the craziest times we've ever been living in, right? So You got to think about it like that. It's a lot better to just make your own. Just make your own. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, just make your own stuff, because at the end of the day, if you go do all of this, it's going to be way harder. So, what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is, for me, I'm going to delete this, because I don't believe in making my customer pay way more freaking money for something than what is necessary. Okay? So, two cards is all I'm going to make. I'm going to make the front of the card, the back of the card. I'm not going to have a custom double tin box for people to store it. Although I could, and that would just draw the price up a little more. But basically I could make 3 images. One for the box, one for the front of the card, one for the back of the card. Okay, so instead of wanting to make 55 custom images, I could just make 3 images and get by like that. See what I'm trying to tell you? Because at the end of the day, this making it with the AI is not going to be a product that, like a artwork that you're going to be able to sell to the distributor so that they can distribute for you and save you on distribution cost. See what I'm trying to tell you? But could you do it? Yes, but look how much you are going to have to fork out. And now you're going to have to sell this in order for you to make your money back. You're probably going to have to sell this approximately for $80. You have to sell this deck for $80 to your customers. That's insane. That's all I'm saying. That's the reason I just wanted to make this video. Because I'm like, yeah, you could use AI, but at the end of the day, why would you want to? Why would you want to, honey? Okay? Anyways, thank you for watching and take care of yourselves.